Wait.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I would like to share with you the insights of a project we're taking right now, and I hope that this very exciting nightmare that it's occupying most of my time now, that I can share with you, and you're gonna give me some good advice on what to do, on what to pay attention to. I will talk to you today about going from a local catering company to a global catering company. And I'll start writing on the board. On 2005, Food and Mambo started its operations on a local level. Basically Barcelona and the surroundings. On 2013, Food and Mambo became a European provider. Okay, we took on the MotoGP project, as you all know, and we started to operate our business in several countries. Actually, from May to November, every 15 days, we are in a different country, in a different racetrack, and basically we don't stop moving. From local to the European scope, the model doesn't change very much. We pretty much design, we cook, we pack, we transport, we do the assembly of the dishes or the gastronomy, plus some fresh products that we necessarily have to cook or get on site. We serve, and we pack back. That's every 15 days. Now, this last year, the MotoGP guy said, I'm running into a lot of problems with our overseas races, and I want you to, next year, take over Argentina and Texas.
Bravo!
Well, we'll see what's going to happen. So, my nightmare started right here, because obviously this business model start having some problems if you think about crossing the Atlantic. Okay, I'm going to explain you now where are we at, and I have put some thoughts together and what we've done so far. And from that point, I would like you to say, Oscar, you're crazy. Oscar, don't do that. Oscar, pay attention to this or pay attention to that. Okay, we were in April. I spent 25 days, half in Texas and half in Argentina, trying to look for like a local partner, because obviously, just thinking about it is like, okay, if I go by myself, how am I going to hire the people if I don't have a company there? What happens with the permits, and so on and so forth. So let's say we added a layer with that local company. Okay, I visited their facilities, I met their teams, and a whole bunch of clouds start to arise into my horizon. For example, in design, there's a whole bunch of cultural differences in between, Europe and the United States, or Europe and Argentina. I ran into where I can foresee a lot of problems about like cooking, equipment, technology, expertise. That I foresee as being a problem. Packing and transportation obviously has to be done differently, because in here, like in Barcelona, well, I had like a van. Now that I moved through Europe, I have like 4 trailers. but it's just a matter of size. If you get into the logistics on sea logistics or air logistics, the prices, especially in the air side, are obnoxious, and on the other hand, sourcing some of the things we need to do our business in the middle of the jungle in Argentina. I don't know why they put the circuit there, but it's in the middle of nowhere in a very, very poor area of Argentina. That is going to become also a problem. Assembling and cooking the fresh products is going to be a problem too, because they are not used to, the catering industry across the Atlantic is not as sophisticated, is not as developed. Everybody thinks about the United States as like the most tech and developed country in the world. In the case of catering, that is not like this. If you want to start up like a fast food chain, go to the States and take a look at what they do, how they process, how they standardize everything, how they maintain quality and the cost. In the catering industry, I had the feeling that they were like 15 or 20 years behind of what for example, Culpeper has done in this premium fare and so on and so forth. The serving, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Back, with
There's nothing left to steal everything.
Yeah, the key and the last thing is the money, the euro or dollar or whatever. I have some trust issues in my head as well. So my question is, if you were in my chair, in my position, what kind of like things would you be looking at? What kind of like things would not make you sleep so well? So I guess like we can start with anybody.
Pray. Well, pray.
Okay, start praying, that's the first thing, yes. But I'm sure we have a lot of information here and a lot of issues. Who wants to give some feedback to him?
The one which is not a caterer.
Yes.
But if I were you, from a business model and logistic perspective, independently of the fact that you are selling food, I would go in to check for suppliers that are there supplying international businesses, like airplane. So who is doing catering for airplanes in Texas, in the airport, or in Argentina? They are trustworthy because they have to comply with international standards, and so they will be possibly able to comply with your standards in terms of, so if they are selling to the airport or to the plane, they are doing that businesses for very tight and business-oriented and safety-critical conditions, and they could be more trustworthy partners than anything else. But this is not catering, it's business.
Thank you.
No.
I think the compliments in winning the contract or getting the contract or getting invited to do all this. It's always very hard to get there. My compliments to begin with. Second thing is we acquired a contract several years ago for the World Expo in Shanghai. And what we did before we got the contract is we paid, and we were lucky, but we paid one visit, and we had the same strategy as you had, is find a local partner. We looked for a local partner which was just outside our business. So, because in Shanghai, it's not likely that you find a European-style party catering or event catering company, maybe within 5 years, 10 years. Like the same thing in the US or in Argentina, different restructure. But we found a celebrity chef which was actually from Australia, so he understood the Western culture. And well, he needed for the VIP catering, we needed the same type of food he had in one of his 5 restaurants. So he could provide us the supply chain. And the second thing, which is very important, is we had a business license and a hygiene license. And probably those are the two challenges you're going to have as well. Is apart from the dollars, is to get it legally right. And that's why, and if there is some kind of celebrity chef or a good hotel which is doing banquets, or a convention center which does all the normal catering for itself, they're very likely to help because they understand the business. And somewhere you found the right spot with the organizer of the Moto Cafe, how they wanted it organized. That's your biggest advantage, that's your leverage, and you should keep that. So you have to position your company right in between them, and because they trust you, and they don't call them directly because they don't trust them. You have to be the trait d'union between.
In your case, did you set up like a company over there?
No, we didn't. We used their business.
You used it, and you hired them as you were like their client.
We were hired by the Dutch government,
And you hired.
and we hired them
Okay.
to provide us with anything, with advice, and then we actually put it in the contract with the Dutch government. So we're the ones who do the selling, we're doing front of house, and somewhere between where our back of house starts, the back of house of the external suppliers came in, and that's where you have to find the right interface.
Okay.
Thank you. You're still picking your brains? Sorry. There, yes.
Lufthansa's flying in.
Well, two things. The one thing is, which would be the easiest, go to Vienna, go to Mr. Mr. Dogodan. He has 3 kids. One kid for the Formula One is in Asia, one kid is in North and South America, and one is in Europe. That would be one way, but I think not the cheapest way.
The cheapest way.
Or you lose the contract because he's taking over. The other thing is we have as Lufthansa Party Service. I own the Lufthansa Party Service, and I have done this for a few decades all over the world. So if you want to have my advice, so it's a little bit too much for here to discuss it, but I can help you.
Thank you.
Free of charge.
Of course, advisory member.
Perfect. Thank you.
Business agent.
So,
One more.
two more.
Maybe you can think about also, for instance, and we know that, for instance, in Argentina, it's also the airline catering business, they have also party services these days. So maybe it's worth to sit down together with these people. They have connections in this country. They created also a hotel school inside there. Maybe you get also some stuff from there. But to speak with them, you get some information about the cases and also about the suppliers. I think that's an important thing to think about.
Information is key.
And then you can think also about maybe some dictators like Compass Group or Selection, where they are situated there. They have also departments which are doing that. Then you have to make a partnership. Then you, for instance, you have not the whole contract, but maybe it's the easier way to do that.
This year when I went to the races and see what who was operating them, this is the race in Argentina is in a town called Termas do Rio Hondo. That's northwest in Argentina. The biggest airport there, it's an hour and 15 minutes, is Tucumán. I arrived, just to give you an example, I arrived in Argentina at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, the last flight that was arriving there. I got like a rental car in the airport. The GPS was working fine, so the GPS showed me the quickest route to my hotel. Well, the quickest route was not the safest route. The first day, and I was lucky that I was driving, at 2 in the morning through the city, but I was going through a favela, and all of a sudden, they started to throw rocks at me. and they wanted me to pay like a toll or whatever, and somehow I escaped in a little car. But this is like welcome to Argentina. The other thing that I experienced talking with the organization, with the MotoGP guys, is like I was talking to the director of operations. It's like, it's unbelievable, Oscar. I was here 3 months ago. I requested for this type of a crane, this type of forklift, this high level. I got here, nothing was there. So what that said is like, regardless if I can do this in Europe in 10 days, I have to send at least 1 or 2 people, 20 days before that, just to make sure that the refrigerated trailer is going to be there, or whatever I need is going to be there. So that's another major concern, this cultural thing about saying, yeah, no problem, yeah, no problem, then you get there and it's no problem because there's nothing. Okay.
We have a problem now as well. It's a time problem.
Very good.
Important question, or
I can tell you.
okay, I think you have got now a few persons in the audience. They have a lot of experience about that, and I suggest you that you pick the brains and
I invite you all for dinner tonight, and you can.
He's from Catalunya. He knows the beginning is good. Thank you very much for a very nice presentation.